Reprogram your mind for wealth. 9 rules to build a prosperous life. Part 1. Rebuild your inner foundation. Rule 1. Believe you deserve abundance. Every great transformation starts with a simple, invisible shift, a belief. Not a belief that you might succeed someday, but the deep, unshakable conviction that you are worthy of success right now. If your mind secretly doubts your worth, no amount of effort will last. You can work 16 hours a day, read every financial book, chase every trend, but if you still think, maybe wealth isn't for me, your brain will quietly sabotage your progress. You'll hesitate before big decisions, undersell your value, or give up right before results appear. The first rule of building wealth is not external, it's internal. It begins with rewriting the story you tell yourself. From childhood, many of us absorb harmful beliefs about money. Money is hard to make. Rich people are selfish. I'm not good with numbers. These phrases may sound harmless, but they act like mental viruses. They live inside your subconscious, whispering reasons why you should stay small, safe, and average. To reprogram your mind for abundance, you must confront those inner voices, not by arguing with them, but by proving them wrong through action and awareness. Start by observing your language. Each time you say, "I can't afford it," change it to, "How can I afford it?" That small question shifts your brain from limitation mode to possibility mode. When you truly believe that wealth is possible for you, you begin to think differently. You start noticing opportunities you once ignored. You become more curious, more confident, and more creative. This belief acts like a magnet, drawing people, ideas, and situations that match your new frequency. But remember, belief isn't built overnight. It grows every time you keep a promise to yourself. When you wake up early even though you're tired, belief grows. When you save that first $100 instead of spending it, belief grows. When you study, invest, or create something new, belief grows. You don't wait until you feel ready. You act your way into belief. Confidence is not a requirement for success. It's a result of consistency. Wealth starts as an inner decision. I am capable. I am worthy. I am ready. Once you truly believe that, your world begins to rearrange itself around your new identity. Rule 2. Redefine your relationship with money. Let's face it, most people have a complicated relationship with money. They want more of it, but they secretly resent it. They chase it, but they also fear losing it. They dream about financial freedom, yet feel guilty for wanting it. It's like being in a toxic relationship, full of mixed emotions, shame, and confusion. And until you heal that relationship, no strategy will truly work. So here's the truth most schools never teach. Money is neutral. It has no morality, no personality, no hidden agenda. It's simply a form of energy, a mirror reflecting your mindset.
If you think of money as dirty or evil, you'll unconsciously push it away. If you think of it as power, you'll attract it, but perhaps misuse it. The healthiest view is to see money as a tool for freedom, a tool for growth, a tool to serve and create impact. When you respect money, not worship it, but respect it, you begin to treat it with clarity. You make conscious decisions. You know where it comes from, where it goes, and why you use it. Start by asking yourself a few honest questions. What did I learn about money from my parents or culture? Do I associate money with fear, pride, or guilt? How do I react when someone around me earns more than I do? The answers may surprise you, and that's a good thing. Awareness is the first step toward change. Next, learn to think in value, not in price. Rich people don't ask, how much does it cost? They ask, what value does it bring? They know that money flows to where it's respected and multiplied. If you spend without awareness, money leaves you. If you invest in growth, learning, health, relationships, business, money returns multiplied. The goal isn't to chase money, but to build the kind of mind that money trusts. Imagine money as a friend. Would it want to stay with someone who fears it, complains about it, or wastes it? Probably not. But it would stay with someone who uses it wisely, treats it with care, and grows it with purpose. So begin a new relationship today. Track your expenses not with guilt, but curiosity. Save not out of fear, but out of self-respect. Invest not just for profit, but for purpose. When you redefine your relationship with money, you stop chasing it and start attracting it through clarity, gratitude, and intelligent action. Remember this truth. Money doesn't change who you are, it amplifies who you already are. So become someone worthy of more, and it will come naturally. Rule 3. Protect and train your focus. Your mind is the factory of your wealth, and the most valuable resource inside that factory is your focus. In today's world, focus is rarer than gold. Every sound, screen, and notification fights for a piece of your attention. The result? A scattered mind, always busy, rarely productive. You can't build wealth with a distracted brain. You can't design your future while drowning in noise. If you want to rise above average, you must train your focus like an athlete trains muscle. Start by recognizing that focus isn't just about saying yes to what matters, it's also about saying no to what doesn't. Every yes to distraction is a no to your dreams. Every minute lost to scrolling is a minute stolen from your purpose. Your brain needs space to think deeply, to connect ideas, to plan strategically. That's why successful people often appear calm and detached. They protect their mental space fiercely. They don't let small chaos control big goals.
To train focus, begin with simple rituals. Digital boundaries. Check your phone only at set times. Turn off non-essential notifications. Sacred work hours. Choose 1 or 2 hours a day where you work undisturbed. No social media, no messages. Mental decluttering. Spend 10 minutes daily journaling or meditating. Clear your mind so new ideas can breathe. You'll notice something incredible. When you protect your focus, your creativity explodes. You start finishing what you start. You feel proud of your progress. You begin to trust yourself again. And that self-trust is pure wealth. Because every goal, every business, every dream, they all depend on one thing: your ability to focus long enough to make them real. Most people underestimate how powerful one focused year can be. 12 months of concentrated effort can change your income, your habits, even your identity. But you'll never experience that power if your attention is constantly fragmented. So guard your focus like a treasure. Train it with discipline, reward it with rest. And remember, focus is not about working harder, it's about working clearer. Your mind is your most valuable investment. Feed it well, rest it well, and most importantly, protect it fiercely. Reflection, the inner shift.
These first 3 rules are about building your foundation, your inner architecture for abundance. They're not about making money yet. They're about becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts it. Belief shapes your possibility. Relationship with money shapes your behavior. Focus shapes your results. Without these, strategies are useless. With them, every action gains power. You cannot build a mansion of wealth on a foundation of doubt and distraction. So before you learn how to earn, invest, or multiply money, learn to master the mind that controls it. Closing thought for part 1. Reprogramming your mind for wealth isn't just about becoming rich. It's about becoming free. Free from fear, free from scarcity, free from the old stories that told you to stay small. You are not here to survive. You are here to expand, to create, to contribute, to grow into the person your dreams have been waiting for. In the next part, we'll explore how to master the outer game of growth, how to transform your beliefs into action, your ideas into value, and your focus into freedom. Your outer wealth will always rise to meet your inner growth. So let's keep growing from the inside out. Part 2. Master the game of growth. Rule 4. Build skills that create value. Once your mindset starts shifting, you'll notice something. Believing you can grow isn't enough. You must equip yourself to grow. In the economy of today, money doesn't flow to effort. It flows to value. And value is created through skills, the tools that turn potential into progress. If you look at any wealthy person, from entrepreneurs to artists, they all have one thing in common. They've spent years mastering skills that solve problems for others. It's not luck, it's not magic, it's deliberate learning.
Yet most people stop learning the day they leave school. They think their education ends with a diploma, not realizing that real education begins after it. The world keeps changing, but their knowledge stays still, and they wonder why opportunity seems to disappear. The truth is simple. The more valuable your skills, the more valuable your time. When you can solve meaningful problems faster, better, or more creatively than others, people and opportunities will seek you out. So here's the rule. Don't chase money, chase mastery. Money will follow mastery naturally. Think of skills as investments. Some give small, short-term returns, like basic office skills. Others, like communication, sales, design, marketing, or emotional intelligence, multiply in value forever. Each skill you master becomes an asset that no one can take away from you. Not inflation, not recession, not even failure. Ask yourself, what skills am I currently known for? Are those skills becoming more valuable or less valuable with time? What one skill could completely change my income if I mastered it in the next 12 months? Maybe it's learning how to sell, how to write persuasively, how to code, how to manage people, or how to build an online brand. Whatever it is, make it your obsession. Block time each day to study, practice, and apply. Because skills are what separate dreamers from doers. But don't just collect skills randomly. Connect them strategically. A writer who learns marketing becomes a content creator. A designer who learns storytelling becomes a brand builder. A teacher who learns social media becomes an educator with global reach. Each skill you stack on top of another increases your market value exponentially. And here's the beautiful truth. Learning itself becomes addictive.
Once you realize you can change your income by changing yourself, you'll never stop investing in growth again. You'll understand that real security doesn't come from having a job, it comes from having skills that make you valuable anywhere. So start today. Learn one skill that will outlive trends. Build it, practice it, teach it, and monetize it. Your mind is your greatest factory. Fill it with tools that create lasting wealth. Rule 5. Think like a producer, not a consumer. Most people spend their entire lives on the wrong side of the economic equation. They are consumers, not producers. They buy the courses, the gadgets, the subscriptions, the entertainment, all created by a small number of people who had the courage to produce. The world rewards producers because they create what others use, watch, wear, or need. Consumers spend, producers earn. Consumers react, producers initiate. Consumers look for value, producers create it. That's why this mindset shift is so powerful. Every time you consume, ask, could I produce something like this instead? Instead of just reading books, write your own lessons. Instead of just watching YouTube videos, create videos that teach or inspire. Instead of scrolling endlessly, build something worth scrolling for. It doesn't matter if you start small. A blog, a product, a digital service, an online course, an app, a design, a song, a handmade item. What matters is that you enter the game of creation. Because wealth flows to those who dare to produce. Here's why. Producers live in the world of leverage. When you produce something once, a song, a video, a course, a book, it can serve thousands, even millions, without extra effort. That's exponential value creation. Meanwhile, consumption always ends with zero. You buy, you use, and it's gone. Production compounds. Every new thing you create adds to your identity, your reputation, and your financial base. Being a producer doesn't mean you never consume. It means you consume with purpose. To learn, to get inspired, to reverse engineer excellence. Watch like a student, not a fan. Study what works, why it works, and how you could make it even better. That's how every innovator starts, not by copying, but by transforming consumption into creation. Think of yourself as a builder of value in every area of life. If you're in a job, don't just do what's required, improve the system. If you're in business, don't just sell, create an experience. If you're in art, don't just express, connect. When you begin to think like a producer, you see possibilities everywhere. You stop complaining about what's missing and start asking, what can I make? That question alone separates mediocrity from greatness. So start small. Create something today, a post, a plan, a prototype, a product idea. Because the sooner you step into creation, the sooner you step into control of your wealth. Rule 6. Surround yourself with growth energy. You can have the best mindset and the sharpest skills, but if you live in a negative environment, it will drain your power faster than you can rebuild it. Your environment is stronger than your willpower. Think about it. If you spend your days surrounded by people who complain, doubt, or criticize, eventually their energy seeps into your thoughts. You start to mirror their fears, their excuses, their limitations. Not because you want to, but because humans are wired to adapt to the energy around them. The opposite is also true. When you surround yourself with dreamers, doers, and thinkers, people who talk about ideas, growth, and goals, your energy rises automatically. You feel challenged to grow, inspired to try, and supported when you fail. That's the power of environment. you rise to the level of the people you associate most. If you can't find a motivating circle in real life, create one virtually. Listen to mentors, podcasts, or audiobooks that lift your perspective. Follow creators who teach, not just entertain. Fill your mind with voices that remind you what's possible. Because eventually, what you hear daily becomes what you believe daily.
Here's a truth most underestimate. You don't need to cut off every negative person, you just need to limit their influence. You can love people without copying their habits. You can respect them without adopting their fears. Your responsibility is to protect your growth energy like a flame. Nurture it until it's strong enough to light others. To build a growth environment, do 3 things. Curate your inputs. Choose what you read, watch, and listen to. Every piece of content either fuels or drains your energy. Be intentional. Choose growth conversations. Talk less about people, more about ideas. Surround yourself with those who challenge your comfort zone and celebrate your effort. Create accountability. Find someone who pushes you to keep promises to yourself. Growth happens faster when you know someone's watching your progress. And if you ever feel lonely on this journey, remember this. Every great achiever once walked alone before they found their tribe. Keep walking. The right people appear when you're moving in the right direction. Your energy is sacred. Your dreams are fragile. Protect them both by choosing your environment wisely. Because when you change who you spend time with, you change who you become. Reflection, the growth shift. The second part of your journey is about motion, turning belief into action and potential into progress. Part 1 built your foundation. Part 2 builds your momentum. Here's what you've learned. Skills turn intention into income. Production turns consumption into creation. Environment turns motivation into momentum. These 3 rules create the engine of your wealth, the constant cycle of learning, creating, and evolving. But even the strongest engine can stall without one more ingredient: emotional mastery. That's where part 3 begins, learning how to manage fear, failure, habits, and long-term vision. Because wealth doesn't reward the fastest, it rewards the most consistent. Closing thought for part 2. You are no longer just a dreamer, you are a builder. Every skill you learn adds a new tool. Every idea you produce adds a new seed. Every positive person you meet adds a new source of light. Keep stacking, keep creating, keep surrounding yourself with energy that makes you grow. The universe doesn't give wealth to the most deserving, it gives it to the most prepared. In the next part, we'll dive into the final stage, how to build emotional strength, patience, and vision so your success doesn't just come fast, but lasts forever. Growth is not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were meant to be.
Part 3. Lead with patience and vision. Rule 7. Master your emotions, or they will master you. You can learn every wealth strategy in the world, but if you can't manage your emotions, you'll sabotage yourself every time success gets close. The truth is, wealth isn't just a game of numbers, it's a game of nerves. When things go wrong, when money fluctuates, when opportunities delay, your emotional stability determines whether you grow or collapse. That's why so few people sustain wealth. They don't realize that the biggest obstacle isn't the market, the economy, or luck. It's their emotional reactivity. Think about it. Fear stops you from starting. Doubt stops you from persisting. Greed makes you rush. Impatience makes you quit. Pride blinds you to learning. If you let these emotions control you, you'll forever ride the roller coaster of short-term highs and long-term frustration. But here's the truth that the wealthy internalize. Emotional mastery is financial mastery.
because emotion drives decision, and decision drives destiny. So how do you master emotions? 1. Pause before reacting. The gap between stimulus and response is where all your power lies. Train yourself to pause, breathe, observe, detach before reacting to fear or excitement. Wealthy people don't make decisions in panic or euphoria. They act from clarity. 2. Detach your identity from outcomes. Losing money doesn't mean you are a loser. Failing at a project doesn't mean you are a failure. When your self-worth depends on results, every setback becomes personal. When you detach, you can learn objectively. 3. Transmute emotion into motion. Every strong emotion carries energy. Instead of suppressing it, channel it. Use fear as focus. Use anger as drive. Use envy as inspiration to improve. Emotion is fuel. It only becomes poison when trapped. 4. Practice emotional recovery. You don't need to be fearless, just fast at recovery. Build rituals that reset your mental state quickly. Journaling, meditation, workouts, music, solitude, prayer, anything that restores your center. Your comeback speed determines your staying power. When you reach this level of control, life becomes much calmer. You stop reacting to noise. You stop chasing every shiny thing. You begin to operate from inner peace, and that's when real wealth compounds. Remember, success does not require you to feel good all the time. It requires you to act right even when you don't feel good. Emotional strength is your invisible currency. Protect it, grow it, and it will pay you forever.
Rule 8. Play the long game. We live in an age of speed. Instant messages, instant results, instant validation. But wealth, real wealth, is built on patience. Every lasting fortune has one thing in common: time. Not just time passing, but time invested. Most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10. They want fast wins, viral fame, overnight profits, and when it doesn't happen, they quit. But those who commit to the long game quietly outlast everyone else. Wealth is the reward for patience that most people never practice. Let's be clear, patience doesn't mean waiting passively. It means working actively while trusting the process. Every day you learn, build, and refine your craft, you're compounding value, even if no one sees it yet. Every small improvement multiplies invisibly until one day it explodes into visible success. That's how mastery happens, gradually, then suddenly. Look at every great builder, entrepreneurs, investors, artists, creators. They all share a trait: delayed gratification. They plant seeds, water them consistently, and wait for the harvest, no matter how long it takes. They're not driven by attention, they're driven by accumulation. If you truly want long-term wealth, think like an investor, not a gambler. Here's what that looks like. Build systems, not streaks. Don't chase motivation. Design habits that operate even when motivation fades. Systems compound. Emotions fluctuate. Prioritize consistency over intensity. 1 hour every day beats 10 hours once a week. Small wins, repeated consistently, create massive results. Measure decades, not days. Ask, what if I kept doing this for 5 years? If the answer is exponential growth, keep going. If it's burnout or stagnation, adjust your method. Respect seasons. Some seasons are for planting, some for harvesting, some for rest. Don't compare your chapter 3 to someone's chapter 30. Your pace is sacred. Wealth flows to those who can delay gratification without losing enthusiasm. So train yourself to enjoy building, not just arriving. Patience isn't passive,
It's power in disguise. It's the quiet force that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Rule 9. Build wealth with purpose, not just profit. The final rule, and perhaps the most important one, is this. Wealth without purpose is just noise. You can make millions and still feel empty. You can own everything and still crave meaning. Because money is a tool, powerful, yes, but useless without direction. Purpose gives wealth its soul. When you have a mission bigger than yourself, your work becomes a form of service. You stop asking, how can I earn more, and start asking, how can I create more value for others? And ironically, that's when money starts flowing effortlessly. People can feel authenticity. They can sense when your actions come from alignment, not greed.
Ask yourself, why do I want to be wealthy? What kind of impact do I want to have once I am? Who could benefit from the wealth I build? Your answers will reshape your ambition. Suddenly, it's not just about escaping struggle. It's about building contribution. You'll stop measuring success by the size of your house and start measuring it by the size of your legacy. The wealthiest people in history didn't just accumulate. They multiplied value through purpose. Steve Jobs built tools for human creativity. Oprah built platforms for human empowerment. Elon Musk built solutions for human survival. Their wealth followed their why. Purpose also keeps you grounded. It protects you from losing yourself when success finally arrives. Because without purpose, achievement becomes addiction. You'll always chase the next number, never finding peace. But with purpose, every dollar, every decision, every day becomes part of a larger story. So define your why. It doesn't have to be grand or public. It just has to be true. Maybe it's creating freedom for your family. Maybe it's building something that outlives you. Maybe it's helping others break their own mental limits. Whatever it is, let it guide your wealth journey. Because when your wealth aligns with your purpose, every action becomes sacred. You'll no longer chase money. You'll attract it naturally by living your truth. Emoji, the final shift from survival to significance. Let's summarize the full transformation. Part 1. Reprogram your mind for abundance. You broke the limits of scarcity, embraced possibility, and realized that your inner beliefs shape your outer results. Part 2. Master the game of growth. You learn to build skills, think like a producer, and surround yourself with people who expand your potential. Part 3. Lead with patience and vision. You discovered emotional mastery, long-term thinking, and purposeful wealth, the foundation of true prosperity. Together, these 9 rules form a complete wealth mindset system. Reprogram your beliefs. Replace scarcity with abundance. Redefine your relationship with failure. Build skills that create value. Think like a producer. Surround yourself with growth. Master your emotions. Play the long game. Build wealth with purpose. When you live by these rules, wealth stops being something you chase. It becomes something you embody. You'll realize that prosperity isn't just about having more, it's about becoming more. A calmer, wiser, more powerful version of yourself who can create value, sustain peace, and uplift others. You were never meant to live small. You were designed to grow, to create, to serve, and to thrive. Your past doesn't define your potential. Your environment doesn't define your destiny. Only your decisions do. So from this moment on, decide to live as the architect of your future, not the victim of your past. Reprogram your mind, master your craft, protect your energy, and build a life that's not just rich in money, but rich in meaning. Because the greatest wealth is not found in your bank account.
It's found in your becoming. You don't find wealth, you grow into it.
If this video inspired you or helped you learn something new, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Motivation to Study English for 30 minutes every day. Your support is the energy that keeps us creating better and more meaningful videos every single day.